Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of really another amazing episode, episode 7 of Kobayashi-san Chi no Maid Dragon, or Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And this is one of, like I say, an amazing episode because week after week I don't even want to say that the show hasn't disappointed me, because it's been further than that really. It's been like week after week. I haven't even had an episode where I've been like, that was okay, or that was good. I've really actively loved every episode so far. And this was another great one. It wasn't my favorite so far, but it was really great. I think, did I say last week's was my favorite? I can't remember. Starting to blend together here now that I'm on the spot thinking about it. But either way, let's talk about this one part by part. It said in the title even that this was basically going to be our fan service beach time Oppai Daisuki episode. So yeah, this is what we're getting here. And at the very beginning, Toru, very funny, and Lukoa getting kicked out for being not safe, unsafe for work. Lukoa getting taken to change her swimsuit was very funny, of course. Man, Toru, D for Dragon coming in, and Kanna, too thick for me. Too thick Kanna. Kobayashi and Shota, I find it funny that the humans are the ones that don't like the beach, but the dragons do. And interesting also that Toru says, it's pretty much like the beach at our world as well. So, very interesting. And I love all the lesser species jokes. I always make I always point out that I love those. Or like when this episode Toru was like, oh right, lesser species need sunscreen, so they burn if they don't have it rubbed on them. This opens some possibilities. And then Kanna eating the crab was very funny as well, and Shota running away because he was being seduced by Lukoa, and Toru just saying, why don't you just become a demon? You seem to be better at that. And then Kanna practicing her Negan impression with that watermelon smash was, I don't know, that might have been my favorite scene, or one of the funniest scenes. I wouldn't say it's my favorite one. I like the one when they were when Kobayashi was fishing off of Toru's back later on, but I'll get to that. I thought that was a really good character scene. But either way, Toru mentions that she was once almost killed by the Leviathan, and of course we have Fishtail Waifu coming up eventually, so that may come into play there, maybe? Also, another funny lesser species joke where she's like, oh right, lesser species can't breathe underwater. And then we have the funny race sequence as well, where Toru and Kanna don't hold back when they're swimming. Kobayashi mentions her family, and Toru, we see, obviously has some family issues, which rather than just hinting at like once, we actually got a bit more info about, which I liked. Because I feel like just having that hint and not finding out anything about it until later would have been the thing you see in pretty much every anime, but to give us more information right away, it seemed refreshing and different. So it wasn't anything big, but just now thinking about it, looking back on the episode, it did make things feel a bit more unique. Then Kobayashi says that she grew up in a normal human family. Toru says that she was taught that all humans were evil pretty much. And really, they surprise me every single episode. I'm like, oh, this is funny, and then they sneak in really good character scenes. They just slide them right in there. Then they ride Toru out in the ocean, and they have a really, that conversation that I was talking about with Kobayashi fishing off of Toru's back. That was a really good conversation and character building scene. Like, it was really beautiful. Then going back away from the beach, we have the fireworks scene, just a short, funny, intermediate sort of transition scene like we have here and there. Then we get to Kamiket, and it's funny because Kobayashi's like, Kanna can't come, there's something she's too young for here. Or it's not appropriate for children. We find out Fafnir is actually selling off stuff that he drew, and the whole time Toru was like, what is the power? Calling all these people together. I'm like, it's the power of waifus, calling everybody together to love manga together. Then we have Kanna's homework was so funny. That might be the funniest scene, where Kanna's homework was bug collecting and she ate the bugs and wrote down the texture of all of them. That was possibly the funniest. Then, I always I did not like those assignments because I'm like, you have to kill this random innocent bug and then pin its corpse to a board or piece of paper or whatever. I'm like, this is these assignments are not cool. So yeah, I never liked those as a kid. Then we have Toru actually finding Fafnir on her break, and he's not selling anything. And we find out that he wrote down real curses and is selling them for, 1,000 yen each. So again, more funny Fafnir stuff, just going way too far in the violence direction with everything he does. Then she actually finds real otherworld people as well, and they're all scared of dragons. We see Lukoa in the background being kicked out for wearing too skimpy of an outfit again. Then Toru we have this really touching scene with just her thinking about her other form and those people saying that they got to turn into their other form here and sort of stretch their legs a bit and be themselves. And Toru says, "Can I transform a little bit into my form?" So she grows wings and a tail. And it just turned out to be a really nice scene. Then at the very end, we have Kanna studying Kobayashi, and we finally get our new dragon next week, which is Fishtail Waifu, presumably. I didn't read the manga, but I'm assuming here. Just because she's been in the opening and ending for, 7, going on 8 episodes now, and we haven't seen her. So yeah, my thoughts on this episode, really, once again, there were so many sequences that made me think the animation, I'm gonna try to not give so many of the same things I say for every single episode, because there's just so much I could talk about with how well it does the story elements, with how well it does the soundtrack and animation. The soundtrack is beautiful. I love the sort of off-kilter but calm and relaxing feeling it gives. But what I want to really talk about that this episode showed to me a lot was, again, the animation. I say pretty much every week, and this week is no exception, that the movement is this really great style where it's really fluid and yet super, super dynamic with how everything moves. It's one of those the Sun and Moon Pokemon anime or anything by Trigger, really, where if you take a normal show that isn't really trying anything new or anything special, pause it, all the characters will always be on model, but they can't do this really cool fluid movement where you see this, or you see a Trigger anime, you see these really cool, amazing, dynamic and smooth movements, and it's caused by, if you just freeze it at any point, they have the weirdest off-model still frames just going into this really creative style, and I love the style that they're doing here. I think that, is this studio Kyoani? I forget the name, which studio is doing Maid Dragon, but the animation looks beautiful. I believe it's the same studio that did Nichijou, because you can really tell the similarities in some of the styles that they go through for scenes. But I just love it. I love one of my favorite scenes for the animation was just the one where Fafnir was walking past Toru and he was all in black and white and really cartoony, and it looked really cool the way they sort of had him juxtaposed in the different animation style to convey the emotion, because taking characters and exaggerating things past what they could be in something that's live action is the good thing about animation. You can push things, you can exaggerate them to show more emotion than you could get out of a normal sequence. So yeah, I really liked that, and I also really liked one of the sequences that looked like it had the smoothest animation and some of the coolest jumps was the scene actually where Lukoa was rubbing the sunscreen lotion, or the sunscreen on Shota's back, and it had this really smooth animation, and the jump cuts to his face where his face was really exaggerated in the way it was changing. That had some of the coolest looking animation for me here. So again, there were just a lot of really cool things. Also the animation, of course, for the race swimming between Toru and Kanna looked nice as well. It all looked nice, it's just there were some sequences that looked really creative and imaginative. And it was funny as always. As always, the episode was funny. There were a lot of scenes I really liked. And it snuck in, as I said, many great character scenes. I don't think I'm going to give this one another perfect score, but it was incredible. So I'm going to give it 9.5 real dragon maids out of 10, since nobody would believe Toru was an actual dragon maid at Comic-Con. 9.5 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rambled on a little bit more than I wanted to, but that's fine. It's good to talk about things. So either way, like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Kobayashi-san Chi, Maid Dragon, Yojo Senki, Little Witch Academia, Demi-chan with Kitari Tai, a ton of other anime, plus a ton of other manga, just random games, other things on the channel. Just sub if you want. Also, follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. That is it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.